Gun, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, spreading truth and sincerity. Shalom. This video I want to talk about a dream that I had Thursday on Friday, and it's concerning people breaking into my house in broad daylight. So it says, Shalom Akim, had a weird dream this morning. People wanted to break into my house in broad daylight at my home. At least it looked like my home because um, it actually looked like the home of the people that live on the opposite side of me, so my neighbors, you know. But it's kind of the same house, but it's like the other way around. As it says, so there was a female asking me for help at the door. She was my old neighbor. When I opened the door, three Turkish men were standing there who came in quickly. So the old neighbor, she already moved out. New people came in. But when I opened the door, it was three Turkish men standing there. That wanted to quickly rush into the house. And it says one of them I knew because he was a colleague at my job, and through the spirit, I already see that the man in my dream, he has a certain spirit towards me. Never saying good morning. Always looking past me. So I already see the spirit that's upon this man. So, I know that dreams are symbolic, which we can go into as well, pursuant to the book of Sirach. And it says, Sirach chapter 34, and straight to the point, verse 3. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. So the dream represents something. See, it doesn't necessarily mean the thing that you might see in the dream. See, so the dream that I had doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to break into my house. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be my colleagues breaking in, that my neighbor has to do something with it. See, there's a spiritual meaning to it, and um, it's symbolic. See, and reading on the dream again, it says one of them I knew because he was a colleague at my job. So I was standing there, and it was like, so now it's five against one, three men, two females. It was one of the friend of the neighbor as well that was uh, all of a sudden there, standing in the doorway slash in the hallway. So it was like then I calculated my chances like this is not gonna work. I'm not gonna prevail against this. You see. So what I did is I took my phone and rushed out of my house, and then I called the emergency number. You see. So um, basically, in a certain way, I try to be wise in this matter and not stir up any troubles. You know, I'm not saying that what I did is actually the correct way of handling the situation by calling the emergency, but that's what happened in the dream, and I'm just referring to the dream in itself, which has a symbolic meaning. Um, so then one of the brothers, he posted a response towards the dream. He said, "Hey, Shalom, crazy dream. Maybe you need to be more aware of people you know that you can't trust them. See, because the neighbor, um, she's someone that you know, but from the beginning, from the beginning stages, as I came live here where I live, when she still lived here as well, already a certain spirit towards her, like I don't really trust her. I don't really, am down with her ways, etc., etc. So I already was in a very cautious manner towards her. But concerning the colleague, you know, this is something that the most revealed unto me the same day, not towards that colleague specifically, but towards the colleague that I work with directly. You see, because he's the one that is basically showing me the ropes of how to do the job correctly. You see, so I'm basically in some sort of shape. I'm his intern. So what happened Friday? Friday I get very sick. As some of y'all know that have seen the previous video, all of a sudden I got very sick that day, nauseous, very weak, muscle pains, no strength, very tired, crazy headache. Um, so he was saying like, "Hey, you're sick. You're sick. You got the C19. You got the C19, man. You gotta test yourself. You know." So what I did is I said after I left uh, the 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 work van, I said, "Hey, see you Monday." So after I left, he dropped off the key from the van and he went inside to the office, dropped off the key. So I was on my way home. Then I received a text message from my employer, one of the employers that I work for, you see. And he said, let me go to the text. What he basically said, he basically said, hey, I would like you to do a test. I said, a test for what? He said, yeah, for the C19, because I heard that you're sick. I responded, yeah, yeah, today I wasn't feeling very good, wasn't feeling very well. I asked him if a self-test was enough, that sufficed him. He said, that's all right. He said, okay, cool cat. So the lesson that I learned from this whole situation is that, yeah, even though this colleague, he used to be cool cat with me in a certain manner, like, we would, here and there, buy cookies, for instance, or, buy drinks, for one another, just to, show some sort of uh, um, friendly spirit towards each other as being colleagues, not as being like enemies, like really show that off, even though the scriptures talk about, Amalek to be our enemy. Scripture also refers to um, that we should try to be at peace with all men as much as lied within us. You see, knowing that we're right now under their uh, subjection, we're under their rulership. You see, but to the best of our ability, we should be able to be at peace with all men. You see, so there came the point for me straight away, like, hey, that dream, came to pass, that same day after I dreamt it. You know, that even though people can be cool cat with you, watch out. Be aware of them. Be aware of their characteristics of the spirit, their mannerism, especially because the scriptures warn us of these Edomites. So these Amalekites are also included within that. You see. So this is let's see, where's the so this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Behold, I sent you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So we're being sent forth as sheep, which are very docile animals, in the midst of wolves, which are carnivores. They like to eat meat. They like to eat sheep. They like to devour, sheep, their meal. You see, and because we are in the midst, of them, those that are not in the truth, they're being regarded as the wolves. We in the truth being regarded as the sheep. We have to show forth a certain behavior, mannerism, able to not to be caught, by these wolves, by these heathens, man, not to get jacked up by them. You see, be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So that's the way that we should be behaving ourselves. Being wise as serpents refers to the fact that we should apply the law, statutes, commandments of Bahasham Yahawashi. the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we can learn from those scriptures. You see, we should be harmless. We should not revenge ourselves. Seek to justify certain things. You know, if certain things are done towards us, we should just you know bear those things with patience and let the Most High deal with those situations. You see, so we're being sent forth as sheep, which are very docile and harmless animals, in the midst of wolves. You see, so they're trying to tear us up. You know, so knowing this, that they are in fact our enemies, we should be more aware of their characteristics because yeah, there are certain ways in which they show themselves to be nice people. They speak fair. It's very funny because yesterday, you know, um, the leader of the camp, he showed a video of YouTube, which is an alternative media platform for YouTube, and the brother made a joke saying, "Yeah, man, the way that he portrays himself, the way he talks, man, I almost thought I like this Edomite, man." And then another brother said, "Yeah, do he speak it fair?" And he was like, "Oh shit, there you got me, there you have me, man. Oh shit, yeah, yeah, that's right, that's right." And that's it with these people, man. They can show themselves to be very nice people. Buy things for you, drinks. Sometimes you buy cookies, but be aware of them because they're gonna snitch on you, man. They're gonna snitch on your ass, just like he did with me. You see. Luckily, through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, I was able to apply wisdom, to make sure that I was able um, to go to the job tomorrow. You see, that would not be in a I say that I would not get myself fucked up because there have been a time when I was very sick back in the days that I was like, nope, not gonna do it, nope, nope, can't do it, nope, nope, nope. So back then I was on a sick leave, unpaid sick leave. Why? Because I was, you know, the things that I did were righteous in a certain manner, but it was not applying wisdom. You see, being able to supplant my way out of the situation. You see, so instead of going with the stream, I was trying to fight my way against the stream, making it myself way harder. To the spirit and power of Yahawashi, back then I was able to be delivered out of the situation as well. You see, but right now the situation was cleared way faster because I was able to not only learn from the previous situation, but I was also able to apply the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I've been given. You see, so this is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So we understand that our number one enemy is Esau Edom, the so-called white man upon the earth. We understand what we have more enemies, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, the Moabites, the Chinese people. You see. But our number one enemy is the so-called white man. And the Amalekites, the Turkish people, or those that claim themselves to be the children of Israel, that are in the land of Israel right now, but are imposters, you see, they're also Amalekites. So they also fall under that category, as being Edomites, our number one enemy. So we're not supposed to trust our number one enemy, man. You see? Verse 11, though he humbled himself. And let me look up the word humble. Submissive, respectful, lowly in manner, modest, not self-asserting. And the funny thing is, man, if I observe this man I see all these things within that Turkish colleague that I have, man. Submissive, respectful, lowly in manner, modest, obedient. He shows a certain respect in hierarchy within the company. You know, you see. So he behaves himself in this way. But it says in Sirach chapter 12, verse 11, though he humbles himself, even though he shows these things, and goes crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. See, so observe this man. Keep observing him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So if you have a mirror from the ancient days, it was made out of iron or out of a certain metal that was able to rust, iron, an iron looking glass. So you would try to wipe it clean, you know, as much as possible so that you were able to see reflection in the mirror. But then it would do very good, then they would still see the iron there. And the fun fact is, if you would let the mirror be there for a while, the rust would come back. It's the same thing with their wickedness, man. So even though there's going to be a certain time that they're going to behave themselves in a certain way, that wicked side of them is still going to be showing. You see, and that's the thing, man. And the beautiful part is the Most High has been showing me this more and more, because to be honest, I never really grew up amongst Jakes. You see, and when I look back in the past at lower school, I hanged out with Jake at school, a little bit after school, but never like you know on a level that I would really be influenced by them. You see, so growing up as an Israelite, looking like an Edomite, you see, uh, growing up, amongst Edomites, there's a certain a way that you see these people. You don't really see them directly for what the scriptures explains them to be. But through the spirit of Bahasham Yahawashi, he's slowly but surely showing me like, oh, so this is what these people are doing. Okay, so oh shit. Oh yeah, man. Hey, he's humble for a while, but then he shows his wickedness, man. Like trying to come up against me because when I talked with Jake at the job, man, concerning the same topic, he was like, I don't really mind, I'm jabbed up, so I'm cool cat. But this man, I know that this man, this colleague, this Turkish guy, I know he's jabbed up, but he's still freaking out of his mind, man. He even sent me a text yesterday, asked me if I um if I did the test already, and I said I'm gonna do it tomorrow. He said, "Yeah, I'm coughing, man. My chest hurts. You made me sick." Then I said, "Yeah, we're gonna see what my test, is gonna say." He said, "No, no, 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 no. Go to the organization. Go to the institution. Whatever. I said, hey, bro, my chest don't hurt. I only have an upset stomach. You see." Then he said, "Yeah, I made an appointment, with them over there." So this man is freaking out, all out of his mind, and because he's so afraid, this man, he's even uh, forsaking his so-called humble appearance, and showing his wicked side. You see, but you know, I still have to work with him as a colleague. But now, through the Spirit, the Most High showing me that I should be more aware of his behavior. You see, this means that I cannot slack. There's not a moment that I can slack in my behavior that I need to show forth. You see, because if I'm gonna do that, he's gonna tell on me. Now I know he has shown me already. You see. But this is Romans chapter 12, verse 18. If it be possible, as much as light in you, live peaceably with all men. And this is what we should be doing, man. As much as possible, we should live at peace with all men. Don't start, fights, without a reason. You know, don't be doing these things, man. We got to be wise, especially in these latter days, man, because our life is going to be made harder and harder. So we got to become wiser and wiser so that we're able to maneuver, through whatever is being thrown at us, through the spirit and power of Yahawashi Yahawashi. You see, and that's something that we should be doing more and more. So Irartaza, this lesson, was edifying, concerning the dream that I had. The brother speaking about that, it's probably talking about people in my surroundings that are not necessarily talking about, the brothers or something, but like people like acquaintances that you just know, that you shouldn't trust, even though, you might be cool cat with them on a certain level, on a distance, like in Dutch you say, koetjes and kofjes, talk, which like talking about, the basic bullshit things in life, on that level, you see. So with that, pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and shalom to the sincere Akim, Spanish truth and sincerity. Shalom.